Hey, I'm Max and welcome to my RPG game Devlog. In this video I will be adding quests, spells, and a skill system. If you like this video or you're interested into the game, subscribe to see the future development. Let's get right into this. First, I wanted to make a quest system. I had already seen a few YouTube tutorials that I thought I could follow to do it faster and more easily, but when I checked the Unreal Marketplace I saw a free asset called Easy Quest. I thought that since it was free it would be pretty bad, but it turned out to be a million times better than any of the tutorials could have done. And it saved me a lot of time. So I imported it, looked through the documentation, the blueprints and everything else to try to understand how it worked. It took a bit, but I managed to understand enough to transfer everything into my own blueprints and widgets and got it working. It's amazing that this is free considering other similar packages go for $30 or more. Once I got it working, I did a little first quest to test it out. First, you take the quest and it tells you to go get a leather hat. Once you pick it up from the ground, that objective is completed and it shows the next one. The next one is to go defeat 2 stags. Once you defeat one, it shows 1 out of 2. Once you defeat the other, the objective is completed and it shows the last one, which is to return to the NPC that gave it. It even shows a marker on the screen so you know where the NPC is and where to go. You can also open the quest log to see more information about the quest, like the objective, the tips and the rewards. You can see I have no copper and I'm level 2. After turning the quest in, you can see I'm now level 9 because it gives a lot of XP and I have 150 copper. Awesome. The next thing I wanted to do was to add a skill menu. For that I first needed to make a few more skills because a menu with 6 skills would be strange. I wanted to make a big attack with rocks that come out of the ground, so I went to model some rock spikes. Turns out it's a lot harder than it looks. After a few restarts I managed to get the shape pretty right and I found a decent texture for it. Then I added the model into my game and made the effects so they come out of the ground in front of the player higher and higher, and after a bit they go back down. It was a bit of a pain to get the damage sphere correctly so it didn't pull everything around the rocks, but I did manage to do it. Next I made the ground shake spell, which is similar but it does damage all around the player instead of in front of him. Before I could start making the skill menu I had to make it so you can drag skills in your action bar, else there would be no way to use the skills you learned. Now it was time to get started on the skill menu. The idea I had was to put every skill in there at level 0, which means unlearned, and as you level them up using your points, that you will learn from leveling up the player itself. Leveling a skill to 1 unlocks it so you can use the spell, and every level after that makes it stronger. For example, my enrage spell level 1 is unlocked, but at level 2 it makes it so when you use it, it gives you back all your energy. This way you have to choose which spell to unlock and which to upgrade. Also, some skills will require you to be a certain level to learn it, and some skills will also require you to learn the skills in the row above before you can learn it. I also decided to separate them into 3 categories to make it a little bit cleaner. Next, I added a tooltip when you put your mouse over a skill that shows you the name, the level, the max level, the cost and the effect of the skill. Finally, to finish the menu, I made your skills point show at the top and made it so clicking on a skill would spend a point to bring it to the next level. Now, all I had left to do was to add the new spells to my game with all their info and add them to the skill menu. It all went great except this spell that somehow pushed animals instead of hurting them, and you could also ride on it. It was pretty funny, but I had to fix it. Here is the finished skill menu. Obviously I might change things later, but for now that's how it is. Unlearned skills are dark, learned skills light up, and you can use your points to upgrade them, and you can drag them into the action bar to use them. The first new spell is Adrenaline. It simply heals you for 20% of your HP for a bit of energy. Then we have Death Strike, which makes you strike your target really hard. We also have Air Slash, which sends a wave to your target at a distance, and Slice, which damages your enemy and leave a bleed on them that does damage over time. There is also Ground Shake and Ragnarok, which spawns rock and do damage. Then we have concentration, which makes the world around you slow down, but not you. So this can be used to do more damage since you're faster than the enemies, or dodge things, or maybe even catch up or run away. And there's also spirit, which increases your regeneration speed. With all these new skills, each with their own cost and cooldown, it makes the combat a lot more engaging. Obviously I will need to balance them later because right now some are much stronger than others. Finally, I wanted to add a max angle that the player can attack at. Currently the player can attack a target behind him. Obviously that doesn't make sense. I had to get the angle between the player and the target, so I started thinking about how to do it. Turns out it's really easy, but somehow at that moment I couldn't find how to do it. I tried using the dot product on Unreal. It kinda worked, but it didn't show negative angles, so it would only prevent hitting to the sides, not in the back. I tried finding how to know if the target is behind me with the X and the Y, but I ended up finding a way better solution using the Unreal rotators. So now the player can only attack a target in front of them, except for zone attacks of course. I will soon transfer the project to Unreal Engine 5 to use the new map features. Hopefully the transfer will work fine and I won't have to remake a bunch of things. Hopefully you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please subscribe and check out the next ones.